Yo, what's going on today, guys? It is Sam, better known as Samito. Welcome back to the channel today, where we're talking about the new Moira changes. I know a lot of people have been asking me, like, my opinions on it. Honestly, I've tried to tune out most of the beta stuff just because, like, I just don't really see much of a purpose to it. But whenever big changes come in that kind of indicate Blizzard's intention for the big picture, I think it's actually worth talking about. So today we're going to be talking about the Moira changes. If you're new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I appreciate having you guys around. I'm not going to read over the 14th patch notes where, like, Doomfist buffs, Junker Queen nerfs, Orisa buffs, Sojourn nerfs, Sim buffs, Zen nerfs, etc., etc. Don't care too much about that. Mostly want to talk about Moira's new Enfeebling Orb, which instead of Damage Orb, replaces Damage Orb with a separate cooldown of 16 seconds, fires a straight moving projectile that explodes in a 3-meter radius on impact of an enemy or environment, deals 40 impact damage, 10 explosion damage. But the big thing people are talking about is the Weakened effect, which reduces all damage dealt by 75% for 4 seconds. And obviously that number is way too strong. I don't really know what they were thinking. Well, I think they were thinking two separate things, right? So first, I want to talk about why they might do this, right? A lot of people might not remember back in the old days, like Season 7, Season 8, but before role queue, the role that people weren't queuing was not tank, it was actually support when Mercy was very good. And maybe their fix to making people want to play more support in the role queue format is, hey, let's just give all of these characters, even some of the more entry-level ones, big value to make the role seem more appealing to other people and make people want to play it more. So obviously one way they could do that is by making the role incredibly strong. Essentially not forcing a player to play it, but it's you know, it would definitely encourage more people to want to play the role if it was better, right? You know, generally speaking, even if 20% more people want to play the role because it's strong, that will drastically help role queue time. So that's one potential, you know, reason as to why they would do that. Number two, this is the more scary one, which is what I think it is. I think that in their eyes, right, they talk all the time about how they want Overwatch to be a more inclusive game, which I think inclusivity in gaming is very, very good, but not this. This is not good because what inclusivity in gaming to me means is that what makes esports so special is that no matter where you are in the world, who you are, where you're from, what you look like, what your name is, none of that shit matters. The only thing that matters is, can you play? Can you perform? Can you do all of this, right? And I think that's what makes gaming, specifically gaming in the competitive sphere of what any hobby in the world that might exist, right? I think that in modern history, there's never been a product or even human history that's ever been able to do that to the scale that gaming is capable of doing, right? But at the same time, you can't compromise actual individual skill with that, or else you lose what makes it special. And to me, them continuously buffing easier to play heroes like Moira, Brig existing in the way she did, Moth meta, right? They've done this to Moira 3 times, right? They let her fade out of stuns. They try to make her fade an entire team. And now she can make it so Dragon Blade does 28 damage. And you probably see me on screen right now just easily kiting people by using my abilities. And granted, you could say it's not a competitive format. Sure, I'll give you that. But like either way, it's just cheesy, gimmicky abilities to outweigh mechanical skill. And what does this mean for Overwatch 2? Well, it tells me that they haven't learned their lesson with the support category. And it's not that they haven't learned their lesson, it's that they're intentionally trying to do this, right? And because of that, I'm going to make a big prediction about Overwatch 2. And this is not necessarily a bad thing. And let me give my perspective as well first. In that, you know, I grinded this game for years. I made a career here. I was a competitive player. I wanted to see this game reach its potential, and I think it needs to do that by creating an actual competitive environment like other sports and competitive activities out there where there aren't shortcuts, where people want to have to work hard because that raises the stakes and that gives players an incentive to grind, which will make it look more attractive to your average person who just wants to hop on and mess around and have fun, right? And I think that if you look at the big successful games nowadays, that's really what you see happen. Because Blizzard intentionally doesn't want to do that, because I think that it's both things 1 and 2, right? Instead of adding more supports like Ana, which have the skill shots, they've just gone from Moira to Brig to Bap, which Bap a little bit less so like Brig and Moira, but, you know, Immortality feel like the abilities generally carrying the player and taking the game away from its shooter origins, where the MOBA aspects of the game assisted the player, or the player had to utilize those tools, but ultimately the player really had to have good mechanics to get value across the board on every hero, for the most part, with a few outliers. And that was the core of Overwatch. That's what made Overwatch so appealing. But now with competition much tighter than it is, I don't see Overwatch 2 being popular for more than 3 weeks. I really don't. I think the second Modern Warfare 2 comes out, it's going to blow it out of the water. Warzone 2 as well. I think competition is too stiff for them to be making bypasses to the learning curve consistently to try to make people get more value even though they haven't put in as much. And what does that mean for Overwatch, right? That doesn't mean the game's going to fail. I'm not saying the game is going to die. I'm not going to sit here and say that, be like, oh, this game's dead, it's bad, whatever. But I will say, I think the niche that they're trying to attract is the type of consumer that just hops on every once in a while, messes around, and has fun. They are not designing this game for the grinders. They are not designing this game for the competitive atmosphere. They're not designing this game for even Overwatch League, right? With changes like this, right? It tells me that they just want to make a semi-stable product as a niche. And after all those down years and after this giant mess, I can't entirely blame them, but it was a mess of their own creation, right? So I think that their intention is to do stuff like that. This is what they're trying to do. They've done this so many times with Moira. They clearly did it with Brigitte. They've done it with Mercy in the past, making her the best hero in the game. They don't care about competitiveness at all. And because they don't care about competitiveness in an industry that has become hyper-competitive since their launch, I don't think that this game stands a chance to be a tier 1 title. I really don't. Now, I don't think that's true for the PvE, which is actually what I'm the most excited for. Like, I'm a huge Borderlands fan. I love crazy skill trees. I love diverse characters and gameplay. Like, I think that is fantastic. And I think that Overwatch has a perfect foundation to make a fantastic PvE. But in terms of PvP multiplayer, this dev team has no intention of making a fair skill to reward curve. They have no intention of making a game that's worth grinding. And honestly, if I'm an Overwatch League owner, I'm pissed because I would have felt like I've been scammed when you're sitting here saying, yo, like, we are trying to make a competitive league with all of these, different characters, competitiveness, blah, blah, blah. And then for years, you continuously put a hero like Brick in the game, try to make Moira better than mechanics. Like, this is not a shooter game anymore, which when it was at its peak, right? It's more of like a casual, oh, well, we'll make abilities that just give you inherently enormous value to win duels. And, well, we've seen how that's gone for Overwatch's interest rate, right? It's just people don't care for that, right? There's no spirit in that. There's no purpose to grind. It's I'd describe it as going through the motions, and that's it. There's no secret purpose behind that, right? It's just like the lights are on, no one's home when you're playing because your abilities are doing everything for you. Like half the effort for equal or not, if not more reward at times. And that's not a game worth grinding. And Blizzard, not only do they not care, but they just don't understand it. And listen, if that's the niche that they want to go for, that's totally fine, right? I just have to accept, as someone who's a competitor, that this game is not meant for me, and it's not meant for the top of the industry. Personally, if I was running a Fortune 500 company, I'd demand a little bit more. But unfortunately, these are the cards dealt. This is what they genuinely think to be the right thing. And after so many times of them doing this, all the competitors out there who are sick of this crap just have to accept it and let it be mediocre. Right? And that's what this game is heading towards, a very mediocre fate, because no one's going to buy this as a new game. No one's going to sink their time into it, or very few people will, given how competitive. I mean, look, here's the reality. You got Valorant now. You've got Warzone now. You've got Apex now. League of Legends is still chugging along. Minecraft is still big, right? While we've seen the gaming industry expand exponentially, Overwatch has been one of the few games that's maintained its stagnant approach, stagnant/declining. And I just think it's because they don't have the competitors at Team 4, the people who will die hard to compete, who will build a product that will make a foundation for a competitive atmosphere that will keep a game in Tier 1. They don't have that. I just think they're kind of soft on that regard, right? They clearly don't believe in competition. They clearly don't believe in fair play. And listen, there's not. It's not that there's necessarily something wrong with that. It's just important for people to understand that that's their niche. So the purpose of this video is not to just like bash on them. I really don't want that to be how it's taken. I want people to understand that the niche and the target they're going for very clearly isn't the real competitive environment. It's really very clearly not in the shooter genre, where they revolutionize shooter games by perfectly implementing MOBA aspects of the game, but maintaining a fair skill to reward curve at the launch of the game and the first couple seasons after the game. And then Jeff Kaplan's model, of which he said, we want to make a complicated game and make it easier over time. Well, how did that easy go? Down the drain, because no one wants to invest time and effort into a game like that. So Overwatch is going to be a game where people find the characters that they enjoy, they come on, they fuck around on them, and just enjoy the atmosphere, which we have one of the best game engines out there. But if you're looking for a product to grind, I tell you to look elsewhere at this point, because look, that's just the way they want to play their cards, and it's either going to work or it's not. I personally think it's not, and we'll have to wait and see. So I give Overwatch 2's initial release 2 or 3 weeks tops of people grinding it, of big streamers grinding it, whatever it may be, of being like a tier 1 title, right? It's not going to last. People are going to see right through the facade of the new game. And then they're going to have to take the Apex approach and take a lot of years of like trying to build the game back. I think they're going to have to learn from these mistakes and stop making brainless heroes. And, you know, to be honest, I'm kind of done arguing and raging about it, man. Like, listen, I've tried to fall on this sword for years for the community, and, you know, I stand by what I said. I think I've been right this entire time, and look, man, it just is what it is. The game's not meant for competitors. That's all it is. It's meant for people who just want to come on, fuck around, and not have to put in effort to get value and just kind of go through the motions. And I consider that to be a soulless product, if you ask me. But again, that's just my personal opinion, right? I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that will enjoy the game. I'm more excited for PvE at this point to go play that. But yeah, that's the real deeper meaning behind these Moira changes and the direction I think they're taking Overwatch 2. It's very clearly not in the competitive direction, and for that reason, I think it's going to keep the game hard stuck tier 2, tier 3 for its foreseeable future until they either stop doing this or Microsoft comes in and says, we don't like this. But then again, Microsoft is also a company that understands the corporate industry. They try to have certain products compete specifically in that field, and they want Overwatch to attract that specific type of player. While it might not be able to take the IP to its peak potential, it will fulfill the corporate need of Microsoft having competition and not a monopoly, but, you know, a solid multiplayer game title for that, in which they'll have games like Warzone and you know, Fallout 5 apparently is coming out. I missed that announcement, but you get it. Elder Scrolls, et cetera, where they just want to be able to compete in a niche. And you saw them do this with Mixer when they realized they couldn't compete, and they just dumped the app, let everyone go with tens of millions of dollars, right? And sold it to Facebook because they realized they couldn't compete, and now they want to compete in the actual games marketplace side of the game studios because they can't compete in streaming. And that's just the kind of corporational world, I guess, the corporate world that we live in. And so, yeah, I mean, look, it can work. I think Overwatch will be fun to hop on and fuck around. Like, I still plan on, you know, playing it maybe once or twice a week and just getting on and messing around. Like, I still want to play the game. But if you're a competitor that wants to get on every day and grind something, you know, look elsewhere, right? Look elsewhere, because this certainly is not it. So, yeah, that's my opinion on the Moira changes. I obviously think they're very dumb as a competitor. I don't think anyone's going to take a game seriously that does this shit. And they're all going to quit within 3 weeks. And then it's going to take like a year or so for PvE to come out, for Overwatch to build out a new kind of niche for itself. And I think this is kind of like the very crystal clear message that they have just failed PvP. And I don't think 5v5 is going to be as good as Prime 6v6. It just feels very watered down to me. Again, the lights are on, but no one's home. It'll be good to hop in the atmosphere. Like, I'll give it like a B, low B, right? But to me, it just will never be what it once was with all these gimmicky BS abilities in the game. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching. Overwatch 2, I think I'm going to give it like a B, right? We'll see what happens after the betas, but, you know, that is my kind of final prediction after seeing this change. It's not going to last very long. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.